Okay, here we go. So a reciprocal function is a function of the form of y over a of x, where a of x is a linear function and a of x does not equal 0. So that's what we're going to look at today. And we're going to look at 1 over x. So basically what we're doing is the denominator is a linear function. So we're going to look at where they're not, where the asymptote is and the domain and the range. That's what we're going to focus on today, okay? So we actually have already really started talking about where this function is undefined. So here's a quick reminder. You're going to only look at the denominator. So the denominator is x minus 1. So we're going to take that and we're going to do x minus 1 equals 0. X does not equal 1. You guys, I called them, in 8.1, I called them a restriction. I also said that's where it's undefined. In example 2, it's going to be 3x plus 2 equals 0. 3x equals negative 2. X does not equal negative 2/3. So at 1, this is undefined, so x cannot equal 1, because you never want the denominator of your fraction to be 0. If it's 0, you can't divide by 0, so you just leave. So this is where it's undefined. It means you can't have any, you will never be able to find a y in this case, okay? So for example 3 and 4, what we're going to do is we're going to find the domain, the range. We're going to talk about our vertical asymptote, and we're going to talk about our horizontal asymptote. Okay? So they're already graphed for us. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is graph them. Okay? So here we go. So first of all, we need to talk about where it's not defined. Not defined is related to our vertical asymptote. So we're going to do x minus 3 equals 0. So x does not equal 3. So that is where it's not defined. Now we're going to look for our vertical asymptote. And I'm going to put VA. So VA means vertical asymptote. And just like we've talked about before, H represents our x, and that equals 3. How do I know that? Because I got it from there. So that means my vertical asymptote is x equals 3. What that means is there's going to be a line going down x equals 3. And what I mean by that is if we go to x equals 3, so this is 2, so 3 is in between 4 and 2. I'm going to draw a dotted line down 3. That's a vertical asymptote. So what we're going to do tonight is there's going to be two things. You'll have them already graphed. You have to find the vertical and the horizontal asymptote, the domain and the range. We have to graph them, and then the ones that are graphed, you'll just have to put the asymptotes in. The ones that are not graphed, we'll have to do all of it. Now the next thing is our horizontal asymptote. That's what HA means. Horizontal asymptote. And now where you get that one is here. That number right there is your horizontal. So we're going to write K equals negative 2. And because it says f of x, we're going to write f of x equals negative 2. So we're going to go to negative 2. and we're going to put a dotted line in at -2. So this line right here is our horizontal. So your vertical is from the denominator, your horizontal is what's ever being added or subtracted. You guys, if there's nothing being added or subtracted, then your horizontal asymptote would be the x-axis, and you would put a dotted line on the x-axis. Okay, now we're going to talk about our domain and our range, which we already know because we've already found it. It's with our asymptotes, okay? So your domain is going to be all real numbers. That's what that double R line means, except 3. Your range is going to be all real numbers except -2. So you guys, there always are gonna be all real numbers except where they're not defined or where the asymptote is. Okay, you ready for the next one? Maybe?